Good morning, evening, or afternoon, everybody. It's Kago coming at you with another video. So today I wanted to take the time to show you the 3 best gold-making professions here at Mists of Pandaria Classic. Now, there are quite a few choices and options, and a lot of it does come down to RNG, as well as what you want to go about in order to make these things work. And those choices are Alchemy, Tailoring, and Inscription. The other ones do have niche gold making things like engineering and blacksmithing. However, everyone can do those and they're not as potent or powerful as these 3. So without further ado, we're going to get right into it. So the first one is going to be Alchemy. Now, Alchemy is the most RNG out of these 3 because Alchemy requires pure luck. So Alchemy for Mists of Pandaria, we're here on the beta, and you make the Zen Alchemist Stone. It says while making this potion you have a chance to learn other Pandarian alchemy recipes, and discovered recipes also reveal additional recipes when created. So you make this, you discover stuff, and then you keep making them. It's pretty cheap to make. It's 3 golden lotus, which is a common herb there. Nothing too bad, but you just go out there, you make this, and then you can start making the rest of your stuff. And the things that you're going to be able to make are a variety of potions, flasks, things like that. And you're going to want to keep making them until you get to what's called living steel. Now, living steel is the daily cooldown ingredient for alchemy, and it allows you to make all this stuff. So we're switching it over to Wowhead here to show you exactly what it is. So you get this from X-Muting. As you can see, I learned this via discovery after I was 600. You can get it at 600, you can get it before 600. It's just making things to discover it. Now, what's important about living steel is it is used in nearly every important recipe for blacksmithing and engineering, and a lot of people are going to be using this for awesome gear. It's also used in the cool panther mounts and a lot of gear. Now, these things that you see with the orange and the lightning steel ingots, that is Throne of Thunder. The things you see with the haunting spirits are the is Throne of Thunder as well, and then the things with the blood spirits is Siege of Orgrimmar. So for the entry level stuff, you're going to be looking at a few pieces of armor that people are going to be wanting using, and living steel can be used to make almost 56 different items. And so, like, big things like Ghost Reaver's breastplate, Ghost Reaver's gauntlets, stuff like this. And then what is upgraded is when we get to further ones, they're just upgraded, and they require the old ones sometimes to make them as well, like this Lionheart Champion, Reborn, stuff like that. Later on will require the Lionheart Champion and then added to it with those. So that's why you'd want to do this, because if you get this crafted, you will then use it later. But for right now, there's like living steel for 76 epics that every single class can get, and you definitely should go after them. As well as the #1 engineering thing, the Sky Golem, which you'll have to get a lot of these things right here, jars particular energy sources that you'll have to buy 30 of, and then have 30 living steel. So if you have an engineer, you can make a ton of gold by crafting Sky Golem, selling them. Every herbalist or every herbing character will want it that isn't a druid. So that's another huge thing that living steel will be used for. Next, I want to talk about tailoring. So I've talked about tailoring extensively in a few other videos, but essentially at 550 tailoring, you can learn how to make Imperial Silk right here. And that Imperial Silk will allow you to craft quite a few recipes. So it's the same thing when making this Imperial Silk. You are going to be getting chances at these recipes. The biggest ones that you're going to make the most money on are these spell threads. While the Imperial Silk is bind on pickup, things like these spell threads, if you're lucky enough to get the recipe and then continue to make them, will get you all the way to 600 tailoring, where you can then also make some of these 476 pieces. And what I'm going for my army, as I shared in my insane plan, is royal satchels, but that requires a lot more steps and a lot more reputation to grind, which shouldn't be too hard here. But while we're waiting, you'll have the opportunity to make these as well as the gear. Then the other pieces you see will be upgraded. So tailoring's much simpler, not as many options, but those options are going to be very good for players to have. And you can just passively make them, and if you have a ton of tailors, whatever profession, whatever recipe they get, you can go with that to make it. It just requires 550, which takes like 400 windwool cloth. It's not hard. You go for at level 500, you make windwool bolts all the way up to 535, and then you make a windwool belt for four bolts up to 550. So it's not bad at all. Just making all the bolts and then making the bolts into belts is pretty quick. So it's nothing bad to get your tailoring to Imperial Silk to then get these recipes and make them. Whether you're making threads, whether you're making these max level robes, you'll make a ton of gold with tailoring. Then we have the final one, which is Inscription, and Inscription is a daily plus gambling, so it kind of mixes them together to be pure luck and RNG and fun. So if you're a gambler, you can have fun with this. You will eventually have success, but you could also get very boned. So the entire thing is making these scrolls of wisdom, and these scrolls of wisdom require you to they require 525 inscripting, and they are a daily cooldown. The only things you can make with Scrolls of Wisdoms are these BOA weapons, that are really good 476 starter ones. These are nice to make. If you just have a passive inscriptor, you might want to go after these. I don't really know. Like, they're good weapons, but you'll replace them against, like, once you start raiding. And with Celestial Dungeons out, I probably wouldn't make these at all. Earlier, they were fine, but now it's like, I don't really know, because they're level 90 weps, but they're good starting weps. But for 20 Scrolls of Wisdom, that's essentially 20 Dark Moon Fair cards, and the Dark Moon Fair cards make really good trinkets. So the 4 trinkets that they are going to make is with the Tiger deck Ace through 8, you will get the Relic of Swan, which is the melee DPS 1. So this either has agility and an agility proc, or strength and a strength proc, and it's just a chance to proc 3,027 strength for 15 seconds, or 3,027 agility, whichever one you have. And it's perfect. It's important to note that you can only have one Dark Moon card deck. So if you're a Brewmaster tank, you can't take the Zwan relic and our next relic, the Ox one, which is Ox Ace through 8, and it will give you the Relic of Nazu, which gives you a ton of SAM and gives you dodge for 10 seconds on a 1-minute cooldown, which it's just not that good, but it's better than having absolutely nothing. So it could be a nice one, and it'll probably be really cheap because people know that it's not good. But, you know, it might be better than what you have, a good starting deck, just purely because of the pure health it gives you. The next one we have is the Crane deck, which requires Crane's Ace through 8, and that will create the Relic of Chi-Ji, which is a healer one that gives you a ton of int, and then it gives you Spirit, 3,027 Spirit for 20 seconds. Really good for healers. Healers want that. And then we have the Serpent deck, which gives the Relic of Yu'lon, which will give you Ace through 8 of Serpents. It gives you 3,027 intellect proc, and it has a base of 956 intellect. So these trinkets are very, very good for people to start off Mists of Pandaria with, and people will be blasting them. An important thing to note with the tailoring in the Silken Fields is you literally just have to come here. It's actually a very safe, neutral quest hub. Despite Galleon being across the river shooting us with cannons, you can come literally right here and just log your characters off at this point and make it. There's even a tailoring trainer if you happen to need it as well. The only thing that there isn't is a mailbox that I've seen, but it is a really, really good spot for you to go and make stuff. And I think there might be a mailbox over at Half Hill just up here, so you can go pretty quickly to get your mailbox and stuff. But this is where you have to go to make the tailoring patterns. But these are the 3 best professions I would highly recommend. If you are not playing a character, if you have a character at 85 that's doing nothing, pick one of these 3 and just passively do it. You can log in for 10 minutes and go out there and blast. I would also recommend that you have a mining and herb tune for the first 2 weeks to get out there and go and get all of these, because without supplying the alchemist and the inscription with herbs, you're not going to make a lot of gold, because you're going to have to buy it, and then you'll be even more gambling. And the herbs and ores will be very expensive in the first few weeks, because so many people are going to be scribing, so many people are going to be doing alchemy, and so herbing is going to be a massive moneymaker. Same with mining for all the engineering and blacksmithing stuff as well. So I would recommend you have a druid there. With gathering, that's what I'm doing. After I get my monk to 90, right off the bat, I'm going to start getting all those herbs and ores, so it'll be really nice. So anyway, guys, that is my plan. These are the professions and why they are going to make so much gold. I hope you understand this. I hope it helps you make a ton of gold. If you have any questions, anything like that, definitely drop it down below, and I'll do my best to answer it. But until next time, I'll see you later. Hope you have a great day. Bye-bye. Hey, you. Yes, you. Are you still there? Well, I appreciate you for taking the time to watch this entire video and making it to the end here. If you enjoyed this video, definitely check out the other videos about World of Warcraft listed in these playlists down below. And thank you again. Have a great day. Bye-bye.